Hey guys, today we're going to continue on and just kind of a very similar format. Obviously, everything's different. Muscle groups are different. Warm-ups are different. Everything's different every day. But today, let's go ahead and get started. And we're going to get right into a warm-up. Our warm-up now will be for our lower body, okay, in which we can either be outside for this warm-up, but this warm-up, you can do it basically for get our lower body going. We could be doing it for 10 yards, or we could just be doing it for 15 seconds. But we have some movements for you to do right off the bat. I'm going to put this over here. Right off the bat, we have what's called knee hugs. So again, we can do this stationary or standing in the same place for 15 consecutive seconds, or we could do it for 10 yards, one step right after the other. But a knee hug is just simply grabbing our knee, hugging, okay, and simply going back and forth from one to the other, trying to get your knee up to your chest. Okay? Our second movement is going to be our quad stretch. Okay, so what we're going to end up doing is we're going to go ahead and grab our quad, stretch up, the opposite side, again back and forth, either 10 yards or 15 consecutive seconds. Our third is going to be a cradle walk. So now instead of our leg being bent vertically, now it's going to be bent horizontally. We're going to have our left hand on left knee, right hand on right foot, and then switch sides, right hand on right knee, left hand on left foot. So we're going to stretch our leg up as high as we can on our cradle walk. Our fourth warm-up is going to be a side lunge and pivot. So we're simply going to lunge to the side, stretching the inner part of our leg, and pivot, and come back down the other side. Our fifth is going to be a toe walk. And this is where we're simply going to get up on our tiptoes. Okay? And we're going to walk on our tiptoes for 15 consecutive seconds or 10 yards. Our next part of our warm-up is the same kind of move, but now on our heels. A heel walk. Our next warm-up exercise is now we kind of get our legs going. Now we're going to do butt kicks. And we're going to do this kind of at a higher level. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and try to get our heels up to our butt. And then our final movement is going to be high knees. So now we're going to be running with high knees, again, for 10 yards or 15 consecutive seconds. So we're going to do those movements one right after the other for our warm-up today. Just go ahead and pause the video and get our body warmed up. Our exercises today are muscle-specific exercises. We have 3 of them. 2 of them are going to be for your upper body, and 1 of them is going to be for your lower body. So let's first get into our first upper body movement. And for this, you're going to need a bench or a couch or a chair or something in which is a few feet elevated off the ground. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do what's called dips. We're just going to call this basic dips, where our hand goes flat on the chair, couch, or bench. And now I get my butt off of it. My feet are firmly on the ground. And I'm simply coming down, bending at the elbow, coming straight back up. My butt doesn't come all the way down to the ground and tap and touch. But I simply go down to where there's about a 90-degree angle, or my shoulders are even with my elbows. And then I come back up. So we're going to do 3 sets of 10 on our dips for our upper body. Our second exercise is going to be for our lower body. We're also going to use the same couch, chair, or bench. And we're going to do what's called a Bulgarian split squat. So for this, we're going to use some resistance. So I could choose something in lines of a bucket I could hold in front of my body. It could be my backpack that I could hold in front of my body. So for this, I'll hold my backpack. A Bulgarian split squat is simply one leg at a time, in which one foot is elevated, okay, behind my body, and my front leg is out in front, and I'm going to go ahead and squat all the way down to the parallel. When I squat all the way down on a Bulgarian split squat, we want to make sure that our split is big enough to where at the bottom of my squat, my knee is going to be on top of my toe. We don't want to have too narrow of a split to where now my knee goes past my toe. And at the bottom of our squat, we want to make sure our hip is even with our knee. We want to make sure we do the same sets and reps for both sides or both legs. So our second lift or exercise is that Bulgarian split squat. Our third lift or second upper body lift is going to be very similar to the dips. But this time, what we're going to do is we're not going to have any break in the elbows. And we're going to be able to isolate our shoulders. So the same kind of, our hands are going to be on the bench, couch, or chair. And we get our hips and butt off of. Now, instead of breaking at the elbow and coming down with our original dips, now we're simply going to dip down in the shoulders. My elbows are still locked. And I come back up. So I'm able to get into my shoulders, okay? I'm able to get into my traps that are connected to my neck. So I'm coming down, coming back up again without breaking the elbow. So those are going to be our 3 exercises, muscle specific exercises today. Again, 2 for our upper body, 1 for our lower body. Let's go to pause the video and get started with this. Now we're going to go ahead and get into our core. We just have 2 exercises for you for your core today. Again, 1 in the front, 1 in the back. Okay, and this is going to be this first one. We're going to be on the ground for this. This is going to be an opposite leg lift. So what we're going to end up doing is having our body completely straight, legs straight, arms straight, and we're simply going to have our opposite arm go to our opposite leg. So right arm to left leg, and we're going to do this 8 times in a row. So it would simply look like this when we come and we meet in the middle, we come back down again, middle, come back down again. We would do 8 in a row, and then we would switch to the other side. That exercise is going to be for our front half. For our back half, we're going to do our Supermans with very similar concept to where we opposite arm to opposite leg. So we're going to simply lift up, we go right arm, left leg. We pause for 3 seconds, that would be 1 rep. We come back down again, come back up, pause for 3 seconds. We would do 8 reps there. And then we go to the other side. Again, pause for 3 seconds. Come back down and tap, come back up. Pause for 3 seconds. And so those 2 exercises, it's going to be our core. Let's go ahead and pause and do our core. Our superset cardio today, the exercises that we're going to do, we're going to do 3 exercises in a row, but we're going to have a 4th station where it provides us just a little bit of rest and transition time. Okay, so our first exercise, we're going to do 4 rounds of this. So each round is going to be 2 minutes in length, so for a total of 8 minutes for superset cardio today. Our first exercise for 30 seconds is going to be a wall sit. So you're going to find a wall, and you're going to be able to sit parallel where our hips are even with our knees, and you're going to go up with your back up against the wall, and you're going to hold a wall sit for 30 seconds. Right after that 30-second wall sit, then you're going to do what's called a slow motion push-up. But I want your hands to be elevated. So you would find a bench, chair, or couch, so where your hands are elevated. And you would do push-ups, but because your hands are elevated, this might be an easier push-up. So I want you to go in slow motion. You would do this exercise for 30 seconds in a row without stopping. this provides us with a little bit of an incline. Very similar to like incline press in the weight room. So we would do slow motion push-ups with our hands elevated. Our third exercise for the superset cardio will be back down on the ground, going back into our core for butterfly sit-ups. So our feet are together. We're in a basic butterfly position. We come down and we simply sit up in a butterfly position, in which our shoulder line breaks our hip line. We come back down again and come back up again. Okay? So butterfly sit-ups is something we're going to do for 30 seconds. Now the fourth thing we're going to do is have 30 seconds of rest. Now including in that rest is transition time. So in that 30 seconds, you would have time to obviously physically get up off the ground, okay? Shake the legs out if you need to, and find the correct spot for wall sits, and then find that for 30 seconds, again, to start back over. So superset cardio today consists of 4 things, each thing for 30 seconds. Thus, one round would be 2 minutes, and we're going to go 4 rounds total, where that rest and transition is provided for you in there, so you'll have time to rest just a little bit. Let's go ahead and pause right now and do our superset cardio. Okay, for our last thing, our cool down in our flexibility or stretching, what we're going to end up doing is 2 different stretches, but 2 different sets of it. So what we're going to do is we're going to do it for a minute in a row, then we're going to do the next stretch for a minute in a row, then we'll come back to that original stretch, do it for another minute, and then go back to the other one. So our first stretch that we're going to do for 1 minute is simply going to be, we're standing, and we're simply going to come down, reaching as far down as we can. We're stretching into obviously our hamstrings, but over the course of 60 seconds, you'll feel it get higher into your lower spine and into your lower back. So when we are stretching for 1 minute, we're going to try and get down as far as we can, hold it, continue to hold and continue to hold, and you'll feel the stretch go to different areas of your body. So we're going to do that for 60 seconds in a row. Our next stretch is going to be now standing, and now we're going to get involved in our upper body. I'm not sure if you can see it or not. I'll kind of move it just a titch over. But find something in the door, in which now we're standing. We're going to stretch our upper body, in which we put our hands above our shoulders, and we continue to walk forward and bring our chest forward. And try to stretch our shoulder into our chest and even to our upper spine. We're going to hold this standing upper body stretch for 1 minute. After that, we'll go back to our hamstrings and do the same. Again, 60 seconds there, and then go back for another 60 seconds of standing upper body stretch. That is all for today. Keep it up. If you guys need me in any possible way, email, office, me. I'll give you a jingle if you need to. Okay? Here for you. We want to keep working out. Okay? Keep working out 30 minutes a day. Find a way to get that accomplished.